My name is Matthew Cuff. I'm from Toronto, aka Snoopy. I'm a dancer, performer, and I love to Vogue. Well, the style of Vogue I do is Vogue Femme, so it requires you to tap in to your feminine side. It's inspired by feminine lines, female figures, trans women of the Vogue community is what Vogue Femme is inspired by. So definitely, you do have to tone down the masculinity and turn up your inner feminine side and create those lines and create those feelings that female icons or female figures would have and put it onto your body. I saw it on YouTube. When I first saw it, I was like, what is this? This is crazy. People are going to the ground, spinning and carrying on. I was like, what is this? But it wasn't until I saw Leomi, she's from New York. I saw a clip of hers and I saw the grace, I saw the execution of it. And I was wowed. And when I saw it, I was inspired to just learn it and master it. Trace the bottom half of the page. So visualize that in front of you and trace it. Boom. Don't let this happen. You can arm like 6, 7. Your arms are paintbrush. Up and down. Good. Up and down. Finish it. You go up and across, slow down and across. When it becomes faster, we'll just make that get smaller. 6, 7, 8. Up and down. Up and down. Good. Now, this is stitch your arm. When you move your hands in the style of Vogue, the style of Vogue is Vogue Femme. It's very fluid, but controlled. All the motivation is in your wrist. So your hands and your arm will follow. So take a second, think of your name, don't know our names. Spell your name with one hand, your right hand. Here we go. Spell your name, your wrist is the motivation. Good. Keep going, spell your name. Let me know who you are. Spell your name. Here you go. Now, use your left hand. 6, 7. Spell your last name. 6, 7, 8. Spell it in your last hand. Your time is no rush. Music. Nice. Switch. Boom. Switch. Boom. Good. Try again. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. From here, we're going to touch, 2, 3, 4. So it's cross, together. Cross, together. Hand up. Touch, boom. Touch, boom. Good. 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, 2, That's how I level with it. Push out the hip to come down. Push up, down. You're going to control from the balls of your feet. 6, 7, 8. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do 5, 6, 7, 8. So right, left, left. We're going to jump off. It's going to be painful. It's going to be hard. We're going to do it. We're going to come down. You have to think how we're standing, that is arch. Keep that arch down here. Keep pulling up to the back. When you lift out of your knees. We go, pause. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now as you're up, your foot is free to move. That means take a small step forward, not a kick, a step. 6, 7, and right, left, left, left. Basically, Vogue came through Shade, and basically it was inspired by poses to the magazine, and it was posing, spinning, and dipping, and you would throw shade at your opponents and pretend you would emulate that you're better than them, and you would become this alter ego or this persona when you Vogue, and basically you throw shade, insults at your opponent and exude that you're better than them. Definitely not, because I feel like maybe 10, 15 years ago, it was frowned upon in the dance community. I felt like I had to hide it sometimes because because one, it's feminine, it's not masculine, And being in this industry, they want you to butch up, they want you to man up. So it wasn't exactly, what's the word? It wasn't celebrated. But now, as we progress, it's being pushed into the mainstream, and it's being brought out of the underground, and people are like, the people love it now because it's such a magnificent thing. Because there's so much more to the ballroom scene than voguing. There's fashion, there's runway, there's arts, there's like creativity, and the fact that it's being brought to the forefront now, and people love it, is a lot to say than like it was like say 10 years ago, where it's like it wasn't exactly glorified. People frowned upon myself and my friends like voguing in the club. They would be like, why are they slamming their backs into the floor? Why are they on the floor? Why are they flicking their wrists? Why are they acting feminine? It wasn't exactly glorified. It was just like, it was frowned upon because people didn't really understand it. But now that it's in the forefront, people have an understanding of it, they know where it comes from, and they see like the beauty of it, and they see like the potential of like all the creative things that can come out of it. I personally haven't been dealt with being sexually harassed because of voguing. I think, if anything, it empowers our sexuality and being free, because we can express it through voguing. So I think like when it's expressed through voguing in a tasteful, beautiful art form, you can't really, it doesn't really have there's no negativity comes towards it, because we're doing it in an elegant, beautiful fashion. So it's just like, I haven't had any experience with that.
So tell us about yourself. How was your trip to Paris?
My trip to Paris was absolutely amazing. I went there earlier this year because it was always a goal for me to go there, because I seen how big their ballroom scene was blossoming, and I saw the energy they had, and I was like, I need to get out there. I could just feel their passion through their YouTube channel, and I just said, I put it in the air. I was like, Matthew, Snoopy, you need to get out there, you need to Vogue out there, you need to be out there. And I saved up money and I got out there, and I went to the ball just as Chun-Li, one of my favorite characters in the video game world. And I made it to the finals. I made it to the last battle, and it was a big accomplishment for me, because I went out there by myself. Like, it was just me alone. It was very intimidating, but I just had to do it. I had to get out there, and I guess the passion of my Vogue just drove me to get out there and do my best, and I did. And ever since then, I loved it, and I decided to go back again in the fall to just get back out there and see if I could do better and just show out again for the kids. And I did, and they remember me, they love me, they appreciate me, and I appreciate them as well too. And it's always a pleasure going out there. But this time around, I went with my daughter from my Kiki house, and it was a fun time. I stayed a little bit longer, and we did a lot more things, and we got to see more of Paris, and it was amazing. The ballroom scene in Paris, compared to other scenes like Toronto and New York, differs in the sense of Paris' scene is really new. I want to say their scene ignited about 5 years ago. They were still new, they were still trying to develop their scene, trying to get leaders. And what I noticed was a lot of the leaders from the New York went over to Paris to plant that seed. And you can see a lot of the New York houses are present in the Paris scene, which was good for them. And what I noticed about Paris' scene is they have a lot of new energy. They're thriving to just get their scene to where New York's is. You can tell that they're just eager in a good way to just get to that status of having that rivaling scene of the New York scene. Because New York scene is where it all began. It's where all the history lies. It's where all the legends and icons lie in the ballroom scene. So I would say it differs in the sense that it's new and has a new energy, has a new wave, a new vibe. It's not necessarily trying to be like New York scene. It's more so it has its own lane and its own energy and own unique vibe. Toronto's scene compared to Paris' scene, we have the same sense of us, our two scenes being new, But I would say the difference from Toronto is it's just there's just more people, there's more talent out there. Not to say that we don't have talent in Toronto, there's just more numbers in Paris. Because every time there's a ball in Paris, like people come from all over, like Holland, London, Germany, Russia. So it's like their scene accumulates a lot more diversity as far as like their neighboring countries. Whereas Toronto is just like Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal. So it's a little bit smaller compared to Paris's scene. My style of voguing is very diverse, only because a lot of people may or may not know is I went to school for dance. I studied modern, ballet, jazz, musical theater. So a lot of those influences are put into my Vogue, and I would have to say my Vogue does definitely differ because it's like it's very hard for two people to Vogue alike. You can definitely have influences from other Voguers, but it's very hard for two people to Vogue alike. And like I said, like a lot of my dance background is evident in my Vogue. Like I like to do like balletic things. I like to do like a jazz turn, throw in some hip hop. I like to just like just a lot of things under my belt, because considering that I went to school for dance and I have a lot of other genres of dance in my background. So I would like to say my Vogue, like anything can come out depending on the day, depending on my feeling, depending on the beats. Like it differs every time. Like I feel like I'm like a salad, just like so much things inside of my Vogue that I can pull out. It just depends on the time of the day or my feeling.